Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. So on this one, I wanted to go a bit over of what to expect with the Amazon Influencer Program going into 2026. Whether you're just a brand new beginner, you're a little bit experienced, or a full expert, doesn't matter. These are just a few things that I kind of predict I expect to see moving with the program moving into 2026. So hopefully, maybe learn a thing or two, or just take something into consideration. All right, again, some of these are just my own opinions, my own way of how I see the program. So go with the grain of salt on whatever I say on this video. But yeah, also be sure to smash the like button, drop a comment down below, and let me know what you guys think, as far as what goes on in this video. So going into 2026, especially with this program in particular, it's definitely going to be very, very different versus how it's been for the past 2 to 3 years, even way longer. Right now, I've only been in this program for about 2 years now, going into this year. So I have some skin in the game, right? And within 2 years, I mean, a lot has obviously changed, right? For those who have been in the program, you're watching this, you know how even just last year, I mean, with Creator Connections, everything completely changed when they just decided to let everybody into the program. Okay. With that being said, that is one thing that I will do see actually with Amazon moving forward, is that they want the program to be more relied with the brands directly, okay, especially with the commissions, okay, because that part is important, because I feel like Amazon, they're slowly, messing with this program more and more and trying to kind of cut certain, expenses out of the way. And one of those being, us, the influencers, which making money from like the on-site aspect. Okay. So I think they're doing that intentionally, because when they did that with Creator Connections, it opens the floodgates, and, they want the brands more, putting their money into, our pockets versus Amazon doing it. Now, I don't foresee Amazon completely cutting off on-site at all. I do think they still see that as an asset on their end, because obviously we don't make money from these videos, then it's not going to be incentivizing to post anything moving forward, right? So I think Amazon does see that. But one thing I do see too is, like, I've heard people say that these Halo sales may not be getting as much. I saw someone in the group, one of the groups that I'm in, that they were talking about like they weren't seeing Halo sales on their end, but also I think because they're in a different country, so maybe that makes a difference. Who knows? Again, this is just me going based off what I'm seeing. But and if you don't know what Halo sales are, especially if you're brand new to this program and you're not sure what we're talking about here, basically a Halo sale is whenever someone watches your video and they buy the product that they intentionally wanted, but let's say they also, I don't know, had something else in their cart at the time, or maybe they saw your video, but then they decided to buy something that was suggested at the bottom instead of that product directly, and you make a sale from that product or from the stuff in their cart. Those are what are known as Halo sales. So they didn't make those directly from your video in a way, well, from the products that you reviewed, but you still make commissions off some of these products. Now, that I do see kind of changing, okay? I do see Amazon either cracking down on that and getting rid of most of it, if not probably completely, because when you really think about it, it's kind of a cheat code, right? Like, we're literally making money off products that we never reviewed, and that's one of the best things about this program specifically that I do love the most, is being able to make extra money from products you never touched. Like, I've made a few bucks off very expensive products that I never reviewed in my life, and just because someone watched my video and somehow it connected, I made a sale. So I do see some of that either possibly happening or maybe cutting it off completely. Now, the flip side to that too is that, like, hey, if it wasn't for our video, then the customer wouldn't have bought, whatever that other product might have been, right? So there is that flip side where, there's that argument, or maybe Amazon does consider and be like, okay, maybe we should keep this program, because otherwise we wouldn't have made this extra revenue, from that video that these influencers are posting. Okay, so so yeah, it's just, that's something I do see though, because I mean, it's a cheat code, dude. Like, you're making literally money from doing nothing, on top of that. So yeah, so that part I might see moving forward. And heading back to the Creator Connections thing, yeah, Amazon definitely wants the brands to rely more and more, with their incentive. So, because some of these brands, they be paying pretty good, 10%, 20%, 30%. I've seen some campaigns pay an extra 40%, 50%, on commissions, just if you're able to, convert your videos and whatnot. So yeah, Amazon's trying really hard to, put that side of the commission side on the brands themselves. So, and with that being said, since they let everybody else into the program too, I feel like last year in 2025, there were just so many new, influencers coming into the game and getting straight into creator connections. And they were just really, trying to push out to brands like, hey, give me the sample, give me the sample, give me this and that. And while some brands might have and some might not have not, I do feel like with brands moving forward into 2026, they will be more selective of who they give their, samples to as well. So more than ever now moving into 2026, I do believe the quality of your videos is going to matter way more. Adding thumbnails, having extra social media platforms to post these videos on too will make a huge difference as well. Okay, like the days of just reaching out to brands and them giving you samples just because you're an influencer, yeah, those are basically gone now. Okay, you literally have to have an edge over everybody else. So if you're not building like a separate YouTube channel, a Facebook page, you don't have a TikTok that's doing well with like TikTok shop that you can pitch to these brands, you're not willing to, make the videos high quality. Like, and when I mean video, quality on videos, I literally see some of these influencers where they'll grab the product. Like, let's say these mics that I'm using right now, like they'll grab this and literally just make the video of them showing the product, like, hey, I like them because they do this, they do that, and they literally just kind of like half-ass it, into like a 30-second video, and that's it. So I do see brands who are gonna be like, yo, don't just show your face with that shit, actually use that thing, don't show me, a video of you just holding, I don't know, like a chainsaw. Go and use that shit and let the customers actually see how it works and whatnot, and then like that type of high quality video. Okay, and that's honestly how I've been doing my videos now too. Moving forward is just thinking creatively, like being very different with how I'm approaching these videos and stuff. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna need an upper hand, going into 2026, because with creator connections being flooded open for everybody. Yeah, it's just, I mean, these brands are receiving tens, if not hundreds of messages every single day. So you really got to put yourself out there and just think differently. And that's why I say, if you have different social medias, that can help a lot too. Because some of these brands, they're in the Amazon influencer program, they're also over there on TikTok shop as well. So if you have a following on TikTok shop, or you do a very good GMV, you're more, you have a higher chance of getting approved for samples over everyone else, just because, again, you have that extra channel that you can use to your advantage. Okay, and that's one thing I've been doing in my strategy too. Is like, I'd be telling them like, hey, we got this YouTube channel, we get this many views, this many clicks, all this and that. So that converts very, very well. So if you're just relying on your Amazon storefront in 2026, yeah, you're just putting yourself at a huge disadvantage. And speaking on that too, like your profile, last year they introduced that creator stars, or I forgot what the name of it is, where you have the bronze level, the gold level, and then the platinum level. Now at first it didn't really seem like there was much benefit to it. I know when I saw it, I was like, oh, you don't really get shit for it or whatever. But these days now you can use that as advantage over to brands too, and tell them like, hey, we're a platinum creator, we know that we can convert, we know that we make money for all these brands. And so brands will literally see that little badge on your storefront, and so that'll just help a lot with doing all that as well. So yeah, you just got to be very, very, you got to put in a little bit more work, I guess you could say, because back then you could just reach out, post a video, and you were done. But these days you really got to put in a little bit more work than what you would have been last year. And that's super important for a lot of you, especially who are just getting into this program, to understand too, because I know you hear like all these fucking gurus that will tell you, oh, just post this, post that. And sure, don't get me wrong, those videos, some of them might convert here and there, so if people are telling you to pump volume, then that's whatever. But I do think going into 26, it's volume and quality. Okay, so yeah, I'm just saying, if you want the highest advantage, you want the highest possibility of making the most commissions, that's how I see it personally. That's just what my train of thought is. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm 100% right, but I'm just gonna say, if you want a huge advantage, that's what I would do. Okay, so yeah, quality plus quantity. Okay, it's not one or the other no more. It legit has to be both. And if you're not building on those other social media platforms and doing just something else, then dude, you're just putting yourself at a huge disadvantage, like no doubt. So yeah, that's basically, you know, those are the main things that I do see going into 2026 with the program so far. If I do see anything else that catches my eye that I might have an opinion on, then, you know, I'll make a video on it and whatnot. So, but for now, that'll basically be it though. Be sure to smash that like button, drop a comment down below, let me know what you guys think, you know, going into the program into 2026. And yeah, we'll just keep posting from here on out. So with that, I am out. Peace, and I'll see you in the next one.